Welcome back to Texas Truck Channel. I'm Brian.
I'm Craig.
First of all, I want to say thank you all for watching. Those that have been with us for a while. We're at 25,000 subs now, actually 26, I think. Couldn't do it without you. If you're new to the channel, thanks for joining us. Consider hitting all the stuff down below and sticking with us. Today, we're going to talk about the bottom end of the truck market. And what I mean by that is not full size. We're talking compact Maverick versus mid-size Tacoma. Well, these are actually still the newest two vehicles in their own segments. And I want to get into price first thing right away. Come check out the Maverick. This one as spec is a hybrid trim. It's a Lariat and it's got some options. It's got the bigger 18-inch wheels and stuff like that. It sits at what, Craig?
38 grand.
$38,000 as it sits. That's a lot of money for a compact truck. If you get the XL hybrid, it's what?
27,
which is for sure the cheapest truck on the market. You can also get a 2-liter turbo and different options. You can also get all-wheel drive with the 2-liter turbo, front-wheel drive only on this one. Coming over to Camp Midsize is the all-new 2024 Toyota Tacoma. This is a TRD off-road. This is our personal truck. We bought it, well, personal, it's our company truck. And look, this thing as it sits is $47,000. $9,000 more than this. You do some trade-offs. You lose some luxuries in this, like leather interior or pleather. Really, for being honest, it's really vinyl in here. It's not leather, but you gain a bunch of off-road capability. Now, you can get into one of these for around $35,000. So keep that in mind. If you spec these out appropriately, they're not as far away as you would think they are. But let's start out with the Maverick. Let's get into some of its stuff. You'll notice that it's a lot lower, and that's because it's based on a car and it's front-wheel drive only. The nose, to me, screams compact truck, but it's from Ford, you can tell. It's got the C-bar style headlights. It's got the logo in the middle, and it shares design language between it and the Ranger. It's like a Ford Focus mixed with a Ranger, and that's exactly what it is, let's be honest. They hit the market and they hit the target with that. Coming to Tacoma, you've got some really mini Tundra looks is what's going on here. LED headlights, segregated fog lights down below, radar sensors on both. You get a cool logo on the Ford one and a flat one on the Toyota one, but a lot of plastic going on, but a lot more approach angle here. Onto the Maverick's wheels and tires. It's wrapped around. These are 18-inch wheels with a flat black, and I'll be honest, these are staining already. They've got like a matte finish to them. I'm not sure how I feel about that, but they do look good. I noticed when I pulled up in the driveway and this is at the house, it looks awesome. Michelin Primacy ASs, these are actually kind of an economy tire, and that's what the hybrid should have, and they handle just fine. They're quiet on the highway, no complaints, but no off-road theme at all. They are, let's see here, 225, 60, 18s, no complaints.
Little pizza cuttery.
Little pizza cuttery, but that's what it needs to be. One more point is the fender flare is painted and part of the fender itself. There's no overlay on here, something to note. Hopping on down to the Tacoma, you've got flat black fenders with big flares out, and that's because it's a wide track truck, wider than the actual fender itself with the steel stops. Also, this is on purpose because if you're doing trail riding, you're hitting brush, you're hitting trees, you want this to take the scuff, not the painted metal, and that's why that's that way. Down here we have 17-inch wheels. They are the same kind of matte, which is also staining a little bit. Notice that here. Red TRD center cap because of the trim rim. 265, 70, 17s, but look at the tire, Craig. It's not really an all-terrain. It's a mild all-terrain. It's a sand, dirt, not mud, is really what it is. But it's definitely got more intent with that than it does economy. Coming down the side, you do have passive entry, which I love the way Ford does this. To lock it, you put your hand here. To unlock, you put your hand there, and it just opens like it should intuitively. Coming on down, we get to the fuel door. Oh, any guesses?
It won't work because it's a Lariat.
What? I forgot about this. Oh, I remember Craig and I argued about this a year ago. There's a stupid push button on it, which is completely...
Only because it's a Lariat.
That's dumb. Don't do that. Ford, like, you have a push button on every product you make, but the Lariat Maverick. What are you doing? Hey, it is capless. Bravo. Look, they're not the only one doing it, but they're doing a really good job at it, and they are leading the way on that, being consistent across their brand. Really big fan of the capless. Bed topper, plastic. Okay, you've got that.
This is like the old Ranger we reviewed the other day. Like, it's just all the way over.
Hey man, it's gonna keep your top covered for whatever you're doing, but it's not spray and liner. Coming up back, on the Lariat, you get a smoked or a black tint kind of tint going on the taillight. I love that. It matches the wheels. It's part of the blackout package with it. The Ford logo is not blue. It is also black. Looks really cool, and it's kind of a satin look instead of a chrome back here. Onto the bumper, it is a Cruck or a car truck. Google that if you like. But it has a real bumper you can step on. It is plastic, but there's metal underneath it, and you can actually stand on it and put your weight on it. Coming up back, you've got a 4-way flat and a 2-inch receiver, not a 7-pin, because you shouldn't be towing anything with a brake controller. I think it's 2,000 or 2,500 pounds. We'll correct it. You do have backup sensors, which is something to note. All right, all out of the way, let's hear what this freaking hybrid sounds like. Lame! Onto the Toyota. Coming on down, you have the same door handle design with Toyota that Ford gives you. It's the unlock this way, lock pushing the button. Oh, there it goes, just lock. Let me unlock it. There we go. I like that. That's intuitive and it works. No complaints. Coming down the fuel door, we know what's going to happen here. Cap. But you got a holder, half fail. Coming on the back, you can see in the rear back here, It is rear-wheel drive based. This one's four-wheel drive. We have the coil suspension back there, which is really nice. The Maverick has a torsion beam. If you go to the all-wheel drive 2-liter, you get independent rear suspension on the Maverick. That's interesting. Bedside banner. The only way to get that on Maverick is with the trimmer package. Coming up back, we have what I like to call a plastic bumper, which is kind of lame. Don't love that part about it. But you have dimensional letters that look really good. Got a back camera built in here. Moving on down, you've got a 2-inch receiver hitch, 7-pin, because you can have a brake controller. Good for 6,400 pounds of towing for a flat. Most importantly, back to the off-road theme, you've got a high lift jack spot on both sides of the receiver hitch. It's actually frame mounted. That's really cool. All right, all that gobbledygook covered. Let's see what this exhaust sounds like. Also kind of lame. Let's check out the power on this thing. All right, under the hood of the Maverick, this is again the hybrid. It's a 2.5-liter motor straight out of the old Fusion hybrid program, which is co-developed with Toyota, interestingly enough. These orange cables mean high voltage, and that means MPG. Let's talk about power. It's paired to a CVT transmission, unfortunately. It's the only option here for this configuration. Horsepower is 162 gas. Torque is 155 peak, and you combine the hybrid electric motor with the gas motor, it's 191 horsepower, which is adequate. Coming on over to Toyota, we've got the 2.4-liter, actually smaller than the NA motor over here, but turbocharged 4-cylinder. This is an all-new engine, and the code Craig will tell us, T24A-FTS.
Remember that, boys.
Yeah, it's gonna be there for a long time. If you know what FTS means, let us know, because we can't figure it out. But it's direct injection. It's noisy, it sounds like a diesel around town, but it makes super cool turbo sounds when you're driving it. It's good for 278 horsepower and 318 foot-pounds of torque. That is a lot. Really happy with that. And look, compared to a normal automatic, and that's worth something. 8-speed auto. Let's check out the interior.
All right, Brian, on to the most controversial part of the Maverick, and that's this part right here, because that's what makes it a truck. Yes, I said truck. Let's check out the bed first to see if it locks. It does lock. Very nice. Always nice to have a locking tailgate. Let's see if it's dampened. Let's check that out.
Oh, yeah, careful.
Okay,
careful.
Not dampened. That was almost dangerous there.
Yeah,
but
okay.
Brian, it does have the Ford Tough Bed spray and liner, and it's actually done really well. I like this a lot.
Yeah, good lines. They're good at that.
Ford knows how people use trucks. And look at this, Brian. We get a tie-down strap, also known as a bottle opener.
Darn right.
Let's get on into the back here, Brian. This is a hybrid, so we get, you think you'd get more, but we get 400 watts.
That's not enough.
That's not bad. At least we get something.
Better than nothing.
That's nice. And over here, we got a little 3D printed thing. We can open that up, and we can, we got a little cubby hole. We can put some things in there. That's nice. Tie-downs up top and bottom, Brian.
Also, this guy, you know what this is?
That's so you can put even more aftermarket stuff, little lights and all kinds of fun stuff.
There's already pre-powered wiring right there to do LED lighting in the back of this truck.
Pretty cool. And then, Brian, we get this whole rail system. This is awesome right here. You can move it. You just pull this, and it just slides. You don't have to twist anything or any of that. It just goes to the spots. Those little indentions, it goes in there. That's nice. You don't. It's quick. It's all these bed rail systems I've seen in Nissan, Toyota, all the other brands. This is the most simple.
This is the easiest for sure.
Yeah. Tie downs down in the bed up front, which you do want those up front. Wish there were another point up here, but you can just do this, and now you got a tie down up top, so it kind of solves that problem. Up to the top here, this is interesting to hear. This plastic goes all the way to the back, which is nice. So then you could actually lay something up here, and it protects it a little bit. It's not really a headache, right?
You know what this looks like? It looks like an Australian Ute. That's what
it does a little bit. Yeah,
like. I kind of like that.
I kind of like it. But Brian, let's move over to the Tacoma. All right, let's check out what they say a real truck is. See if it locks. The tailgate does lock. That's nice. Let's unlock it. Let's get it open. See if it's dampened.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's how you're supposed to do it. Thank you. This has the optional spray and bed liner over the composite bed, so that's interesting.
Plastic?
Yeah,
plastic.
It works. You know, it's nice though. Brian, we don't get the little tie-down straps or bottle openers here. I wish you had it. That's very nice.
Yeah.
Let's get on into the bed. It is a bigger bed because it's a bigger vehicle. So it's a little taller, it's a little wider, it's just a bigger vehicle. Tie-downs are in the bottom there. Kind of wish they're a little higher up. Wish there was a better solution there. Brian, there is. Cali Raised has a bed brace that you can actually put in. It actually, it goes on this side. And look, you put it in and it mounts. You put in a little screws there. Now we've got all kinds of tie-downs. Look at that.
Not a bad move.
Problem solved. If you're interested in that, check out the link below. Brian, let's move on into the bed, though. You do get lights in the middle. I do like that.
That's
and
nice.
You do get a bed rail system here as well. We don't have them installed right now. They're underneath the seat. We'll get to that in a minute. And you get that bed rail system continues up in the center, which the Maverick does not. That's interesting. So let's move on to the interior. Moving on to the rear seat of the Maverick, Brian. This door opens pretty wide. I like that, nice, easy to get into. This is where it's going to confound you, and you're going to not realize how small this truck is, because this thing is huge once you start in here. But let's start with the door. We get a nice non-padded door seal, like most trucks in this segment. But I do like the blue, Brian. That blue is really nice, and the texture is unique. Moving on to the actual armrest. The door, it is padded. That is nice. The door pull is a unique design. You'll see up front as well. It goes all the way through, because Brian, it can hold a very tall hydro flask or whatever you're putting in there. Pretty cool. Let's get on. Well, before we get to the seat, let's check out underneath, see if there's any storage. Oh, there is some, Brian. What this is called, Brian, is this is called a hybrid that still has storage.
Huh.
Interesting. It's not split though. I wish it was 60-40. That would be nice. Brian, let's get in here. I'm sitting behind myself. I'm 5'9", and I'm not touching the seat, and my feet fit underneath the seat, and I've got the seat all the way down.
That's nice.
I've got gobs of headroom, and Brian, I got a center folding armrest. Up here, I get USB-C, USB-A, little 3D printed thing I could put there, and an outlet 400 watts. That's kind of nice. Brian, let's see if you fit.
Oh boy, here we go.
This is supposed to be a small truck.
This is the smallest truck, by the way. Smaller than the Santa Cruz even, and
oh, wow.
I've got all the headroom in the world. The next person that tells me this truck is too small, I'm just gonna demand they go sit in one, because this is the best, shy of the Gladiator, I think. This is probably the most roomy second row of all the segments.
Agreed. To the front. All right, Brian, on to the interior of the Ford Maverick. Before we get to the doors, though, I want to talk about payload. 1373 is the payload, Brian. We'll get to the Tacoma in a minute. I'll tell you what that is later, but remember the number 1373. That's a good number. To the door seal, Brian, it's hard plastic. Really wish the Lariat, that's $10,000 more than the XL, got you some padding there, but it doesn't. But the nice blue continues. You get a padded armrest. The door pulls just like the one in the back, which is nice. You did get auto down on all four here, which is very nice. And the door's really neat, Brian. You can see you get storage all the way to the back. That's really cool. I like that a lot.
Very thoughtful.
Yeah, very thoughtful. I love this blue themed interior. Wow, there's a lot of room in here.
Yeah,
Brian, there's just room. This is a well-designed interior. The ergo is really good. It's not maybe the best materials in the world. Like this feels like plastic and it's supposed to be leather. But you know, whatever.
For sure.
Yeah, well, sure. But Brian, look at all these little cubbies. You can put your cell phone in here, Qi charging. But there's all kinds of cubbies for water bottles, cameras, wallets, storage here. Look at this. That's right out of a Ford GT. So that's your heritage there. What?
I mean, it is. It is.
Okay, yeah. And then, Brian, let's start it up. Let's see what we get here. We do get actual gauges. That's kind of nice. Got a start button really low.
Pause real quick. You know what's really crazy is that we've had so many digital clusters now. I'm like, oh man, this feels premium. There's actual dials here.
Yeah.
So it's not copying dials. They are dials. That's nice.
We've got real dials here. See, those are not simulated. Those are real. I don't really have a tack. That's because it's a hybrid. So, you know, we got to deal with that. That's just part of it. It is what it is. Everything else, though, Brian, is very simple, and everything just works in here. Ford kind of has this figured out. You've got all kinds of options in here. You can change different information you want to see. And then moving over here, Brian, this is maybe the biggest downfall, but look, you're saving money by getting Ford Sync 3.
It's Sync 3, yeah.
Sync 3, I'm sure there's an aftermarket solution there. Who knows? But speaking of aftermarket solutions, you can 3D print, put something there. You can put a cell phone holder. There's more room up here. Brian, this is just a roomy, functional spot.
Dude, this is
I love it.
It's like Honda packaging and Ford Ergo.
This is bigger in the interior than anything else in the midsize segment. Forget compact.
Yeah, forget compact.
Let's go to the Tacoma. Moving on to the rear seat of the Tacoma, Brian. Let's start with the door. There's a non-padded door seal up here. That is kind of hard, but that's okay. The armrest is, it's not padded either. Some would say cheap. A little controversial, but some would say cheap. Brian, cell phone can actually go there and it will not fall and break on the ground like in some other vehicles. You do have a nice water bottle holder here. And Brian, let's check out this seat. Doesn't feel bigger in here, but let's just check out the storage. Let's fold this up.
Hold on. 60-40, dude.
Pretty cool. 60-40, I like that a lot. That is actually a big deal. And for some reason, Ford will not do that, even in the Ranger. Kind of annoying. But plenty of storage on here. This is nice.
Yeah, you know, that hybrid truck over there has like the same amount of storage.
Yeah, it does. And in fact, Brian, we've been in the hybrid Tacomas.
It comes up to here.
Yeah, you lose storage.
You lose headroom too.
Okay, let's check out the actual seat. Let's get in the actual seat though, Brian. And I'm sitting behind, I think I can't get my feet underneath the seat, which I could in the Maverick, which that's kind of annoying. I don't have as much room. I do.
Well, you sound depressed all of a sudden. What's happening?
Well, I guess because I'm in a bigger truck. Why is it not bigger in here? I don't understand. I don't have an armrest.
Okay.
I will say these seats are comfortable. But Brian, let's see if you fit. Brian, this truck's not as big on the inside.
And for the people that are at home, you're what, 5'9"?
I'm 5'9", you're 6'4".
6'4", and I do have headroom, and I do have a headrest that's functional. This section's better than a Ram truck, a full-size Ram. The seat is incredibly comfortable, but it is cozy back here.
Yeah, and to be fair, look, this is a comfortable spot. There's nothing wrong with this. And
is.
in the mid-size segment, this is actually one of the better spots. It's not the worst spot.
Yeah.
The problem is the compact, quote-unquote, truck, not truck over there, has more room.
I've had the answer to that question at the end of this review, by the way.
To the front. All right, Brian, let's check out the interior. Before we get any further, though, payload, because that's not a real truck over there. Not a real truck over there. Beat it by 173 pounds. This is only 1,200-pound payload.
What?
I think we had, what, 1,373 over there?
Yeah,
something like
something
that.
like that.
That's unbelievable, actually. So very interesting. Check out the door. We got a nice non-padded thing there. I wish that was padded. Moving on to the actual armrest. That is padded, so thankfully Toyota did give us that. And we do get automatic down, automatic up on all 4 windows. That is very nice.
Bravo.
And this door design is great, actually. They kind of stole the Maverick theme here. We got Molly panels everywhere. We got cubbies everywhere. We got stuff for water bottles, coffee cups. That's nice.
More Molly here, purse straps here, USB-C here. I mean, it's just,
yeah, I mean,
got it.
They got it figured out. They know what people are doing with this. Let's move on to the actual seat. This is actually a good spot. We put it on normal. Maybe I have room behind it now.
Rude.
This is not bad in here, in all seriousness. The ergo is actually really good.
It's got the Highlander pocket.
Point it out. I love that.
That is awesome.
That is more, every vehicle should have that. Why does not every vehicle have that? Like, you can put whatever you want in there.
Burritos in here.
Yeah, tacos.
You can put Monronis in here.
Yeah,
you can
wallets
in here.
All the good stuff. Let's start it up and see what happens. We get simulated gauges, which is fine. We kind of make a joke about that.
Good.
These actually work really good, and they are more configurable than the Ford. You can put this in just the center. You can get rid of the 2 dials if you want. You can go to a simple design. That's really nice, and there's actually more info you can actually get in here compared to the Ford, so that's good. Also, moving on to the infotainment, Brian, I'm just going to tell you, they both have CarPlay, which is what most people are going to use.
Right.
But if you're not going to use CarPlay, for some reason it's not working, or who knows what, or you broke your phone, this native infotainment is better. It works. Toyota's actually got this thing figured out.
Yeah, it works really
you do
good,
have
too.
to pay more for nav on the native thing, but whatever. Brian, I'm going to hand the camera back to you, because Brian, I want to end it on this. This is a very comfortable interior. In all seriousness, it is not as roomy as the Maverick. It really isn't.
Well, hold on. Back there.
Up here, it's a little tighter too. There's just more leg room over there. There's not the center cluster thing. There's just more space. It feels like there's more space. That said, though, Brian, even though that's the Lariat and this is not the upper limited trim, the materials in here feel like they're higher quality.
Ooh. There you have it. So that's what it is. You've got the compact best option, well, really only option in compact, and then you've got the newest midsize. I'm just going to put it out there. Argue if you want. Craig and I have argued about this a lot. I'm going to concede that's not a truck. But you know what it is?
What?
Yep. You know what it is?
What?
It's a pickup. And it's the best damn pickup out there.
Ooh.
It's not going to tow a lot, but it's going to be, if you're going to be honest about most people's needs and you don't need to off-road, this is the best thing on the market. It just is.
That's the best thing on the market for a lot of people.
It really is. It's like young and old. Like we tried to get our mom to buy one of these.
Yeah.
We couldn't find one at the time. We went somewhere else.
You know why she said she didn't want it? Because it's a truck.
It's a truck. It looks like a truck. But Ford's good at that.
Yeah.
And you think about El Caminos back in the day, this thing kicks in the teeth.
Oh,
in every single way, but it
absolutely.
achieves the car-like driving experience. There's no compromise in that. And if you're not serious about towing it off-road, it's perfection. If you care about off-road, though, something like this is where you're going to want to go.
Yeah.
For sure.
All right. With that, thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. Let us know which one you prefer and whether you think it's an actual pickup, as
I'm
you call
calling
it.
it pickup. Yep.
All right. Thanks for watching.